got one pallet. Mexico Beach couldn't take it. I set it off right here. So we busted that thing out over 3,000.
Mr. Hammond.
We also had five or six senators. I'm going to miss somebody. Senator Gaynor, the Senate President Galvano, Senator Simpson, who's the Appropriations Chair, Senator Mumford, Senator Broxton yesterday, all trying to help us, promising full support from Tallahassee. Cannot imagine. Representative Beshears has been here, been feeding folks at the Centennial Building. We even had Frank White's replacement, representative elect from Pensacola, and I forgot his name, but he helped unload a truck that they brought up from supplies from Pensacola. We had the EDO secretary here most of the day. She was able to get out on the Cape and tour. She went to the mill site. We've been working with her office on Eastern, and I'll let Warren talk some more about that at some juncture. Tomorrow, Jim McKnight's going to have an update on the $15 an hour jobs. They're going to hire, I believe, 50, and he's going to give all the details about how that's going to work and who you need to apply with. We had a good talk with her about the president, the EDO secretary, about getting those folks back to work and guaranteeing that they're going to build that prison back. We also the critical need of getting the forestry camp back to work where we can get the work crews out for the cities and the county. Duke Energy, I had a call from them late yesterday afternoon. I gave them permission to use the Beacon Hill Park as a staging area. They're going to transition some of the folks in town, and I'll let their representative speak this morning about to the beach, about because they've got to rebuild that grid, and so that's going to be a long-term deal. They're going to do that. We have just got that we need more ice at the high school in Weewall. That's need. And I'll pass that on to Marshall and the staff next door. I want Marshall to give an update on the hazard spill north of Weewall on the Chipola River. We have a massive fish kill, and we've got a problem, but the state has been made aware, the state and the feds, and they're going to give us an update on that. The attorney has a couple of things that he needs to bring up about the RFQs and whatnot that we've got going. We're going to need either the mayor of the city of Port St. Joe or the manager, and either the mayor of the city of Weewall or the manager to be on our selection committee for that public assistance advertisement that we're going to have. So they don't have to tell me today, but probably next Monday we're going to need to get together on that. So if y'all just let me know who wants to do it, and we'll try to facilitate that. Okay. Thanks.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Real quickly, you had already voted to authorize us to go out for public bid and RFQ on the program, or the public assistance program. So we're in the final stages of getting that drafted. We're going to have FEMA and our DEM review it, approve it, and get it out. Our goal is then, when you come back to your regular meeting next Tuesday, after your evaluation committees, they'll make recommendations to you how to move forward. Only other item I have is, if this is the meeting you're going to have before your next regular meeting, barring any emergencies, I'd ask you to renew your declaration so that will carry us through next Tuesday, because we will not meet this coming Sunday, and that was a cycle that we've been on for the last 2 weeks. So, Mr. Chairman, if you would, please entertain that so we can extend another 7 days for all the necessary items under Statute 252.
Thanks, sir.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Rogers.
Second.
Second by Mr. McDaniel. Any further board discussion? Any opposition to that motion? Motion passes 5-0.
Just for clarification, and Ms. Norris, for the record, that now goes through next Wednesday.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Yeager.
Administrator Hammond, you covered most everything very well. I did want to also mention Sissy Proctor, Executive Director with DEO, was here for a majority of the day, mostly all day. Didn't leave till nearly dark last night. One thing that we did that wasn't mentioned was have a meeting with the business community. We had probably 100, 125 people in the courtroom yesterday, all small business, and talked about ways going forward and what programs were out there and those type of things. One thing that was mentioned, they have a $50,000 bridge loan, and that will be a 0% interest for some of these businesses that need some money to get started back and get going back, and then later apply for further loan assistance. There's a lot of things going on. I think most importantly, as Michael has mentioned, is we've had a lot of folks come through the last couple of days. A lot of senators from around the state ones in appropriations that are key for us going forward. So we're very well satisfied that the people that are in key positions are seeing our needs and seeing what we're going to need going forward, and we're going to need their help. And so we're glad they're coming.
Thanks,
That's all
sir.
Look at the notes and see what I forgot. Power at the Centennial Building, the meter is hot. There's a problem on the inside, and they've got an electrician over there looking at that, so getting that to the distribution center. We're going to get some more information pushed out about temporary housing. We had a good conversation, as I said, with Brock Long. That's not an easy fix. It's not a quick fix, but it helps on the way with that. City of Port St. John.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Right now, we're waiting on water samples for the town proper. We did the second round yesterday. DEP has been sending those back to the lab in Tallahassee. As soon as we get those, then we can have potable water for the city of Port St. Joe. Our goal is to try to have this back in place by Friday. We know the hospital is a critical need and needs potable water, so we're working on that. We're also taking our first round of water samples in the county. So we have, hopefully, our goal is to, by midweek of next week, to have potable water to all our customers in the county right now. As soon as we get our second round back, if everything goes smoothly, we can have both of those back on the potable water in the middle of next week. All but two of our lift stations seem to be intact. The one by Mr. Yeager's house and the one by Ms. Causton's house on 20th Street. Took some substantial damage to them, so we're trying to assess those two, but sewer's in pretty decent shape right now. The last thing we have is FEMA and Capital City Bank. I wanted to put some temporary structures there so Capital City Bank can get back in place, and FEMA needs a place where citizens can go to file claims. We're thinking that Frank Page Park would be the ideal place, but we've got to get a lot of trees removed. If we can get that cleared off, that could be an excellent hub for people. Everybody knows how to get to Frank Page Park so they can file a claim. That's all I have.
Thanks, sir.
Can I go around the commission and see if they have anything to say? I'm good. I'm good. You good? I just want to say again, echo what the chairman said. We thank everybody for all the help. Without it, we wouldn't be where we are today. One request I've had from merchants is, can we get a couple of dumpsters on Reed Avenue? One maybe at each end so they can clean out their office building and stuff like that. Is that a possibility?
Ms. Ham?
We will ask Waste Pro. They're having a tremendous hard time doing stuff. We've got some roll-offs around the county at the high school and behind here in different places. They were supposed to do a round robin and dump them. I don't think they've been able to dump them one time and they run it over, but we're working on that, and we will request that this morning.
Another thing is that at Washington Gym, feeding people out there, clothing people out there, whatever we got and giving away, and we need some security out there. We can get it. We try to get it from the National Guard and not having much success. I don't know what the problem is. Anyway, we need security there at night, especially.
Okay. And the sheriff can mention that if we can.
Hey, if Waste Pro has a problem with roll-offs, you got a local vendor here. It's Captain's Containers. Use them if you get the opportunity.
The city law enforcement has been out there at Washington Rick, coming through every now and then. We know they're busy, so they're doing a pretty good job with some security out there. But I don't know about it at night because I leave about 8 o'clock. We shut it down normally, so I guess when mayor has to have some security, I guess they can roll out there and come back, and do because he's busy.
Yeah, I talked with the sheriff, the chief yesterday, and he told me there was, make more patrols in the area along with the sheriff's department, so they are doing that. That's all I have.
I made that request of Ralph Mills and Waste Pro yesterday for those dumpsters.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Michael, I think Waste Pro as a whole in the region, they're having trouble finding enough dumpsters or roll-offs to handle.
Well, let's use our local vendor. There's no, should be no question asked. Just use him. You'll be fair.
We'll do that. I forgot in my list, of course, we had this, Senator Rubio came in, did a tour of the city of Port St. Joe. He came from the west and been to Mexico Beach. He came sit in our office and met with some of you. Extremely helpful, staff helpful. So we've had a lot of response from our elected officials. So certainly don't want to make light of that. City, we won't.
Well, hang on, wait a minute now. I'm sorry. I want him to give us an update on your water and sewer because y'all are almost fully operational. And I can't commend y'all enough for everything you've done in a very fast manner. Getting everything back online. Brag on them a
We
little
are
bit.
almost fully operational, but we don't want to commit to anything right now because we're having so many water line breaks, you know, so we don't want to say we're fully operational and then not be able to fulfill it. We're close. I think, today, we should, once we find out what our generators are going to do, how they're going to operate our lift stations, if they're going to be able to keep up with it, we'll be 24/7. Right now, we're still on water hours as far as 4:30 to 9:30, but we're keeping them on. Last night it stayed on all night, so.
That helps the shelter and.
Yeah.
That was one of their worries about the time.
Yeah. So
Make great strides.
we should be there today or in the morning, we'll know exactly what our lift stations are capable of. The generators are just holding up.
The only other question I had real quick, talking about the city, was we got a lot of people around town, and with no water, you got no bathrooms. So the bushes are getting used heavily.
Well, yeah. And we're supposed to be getting some porta potties put around. We got,
I got two in front of our location
yeah,
there.
and they were supposed to be putting them at the Lake House Park. I don't know if they've got them there yet, but, I think they ended up asking for 100, but we got, I think we got 20 coming.
Okay.
So they should be.
Well, that's a necessity because you got that many people concentrated in a small area, and it's a problem. All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Think you got some help from the governor today. So,
Thank goodness, yes, sir. Got y'all here in a minute to update. Oops.
Here we go.
Usually they can be loud enough not to need it, but thank y'all for the time. Just want to let you know that I spoke to the governor on the cell phone yesterday that finally started working. He got Verizon to set us up with a tower in Southport that would work. That communication between the two to get more crews in and get material and such has been critical. And not having any communications, radio towers down, cell towers down, has been challenging, but through all that, he helped us get it set up and finished, and got some great news. We were able to secure some generators to come in, since our transmission lines are just about 100% down between Gaskin coming into Wewell North, which is Dead Lakes, and Wewell Subs. So we're going to set 2 generators, which are going to power and turn on the majority White City, power up to Wewell-Hitchcock by Saturday. Of course, we're working a lot harder to get those in from Texas, get to where we have to get the generators from, so that we can get that a little bit earlier. So by Saturday, we'll have everything up and running and ready to go that can take service in the city proper, south down to White City.
Right.
We also have the generator for the library secured in case we need it. But since we're able to get the larger ones, we're going to feed that through the normal distribution system.
excellent. And the library is the voting center, so that was one of the critical. And when we told the FEMA director, we got a dozen calls, you know, to make sure that we could get voting going. So appreciate
That
you.
generator yesterday ready for you, as promised, so
Thank you.
secured.
Thank you very much. White City is, be so happy.
Yes, sir, we will be too. I know it's rough.
Well,
I seen
we're
smiles throughout the room.
Yeah, we're usually the last ones to get power, so we've been telling people that, you know, till we're at the end of the line, so that's good to know. But
We're gonna have to set a separate generator down there to keep the voltage high enough, so we'll have supply. We found it, and, we'll have to do a report that, and we're working hard to get there.
thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Thanks, sir. Question?
Great news.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, John.
Duke, I don't know if he's here. Yeah, I see him. Yes, sir.
Where am I Duke, man? Mr. Taylor, go ahead and turn it on, this, you can leave it up, though. Take it off mute, you can just stick it on up, though. Hold on one second, Mr. Mike. Gotta turn it, yeah, take it off mute, Mr. Mike.
Put them both up there.
There you go.
Can you hear me now? Good morning, everybody. A little update from yesterday. We continue to make progress, and we're encouraged by what's going on. We're confident in obtaining our goal of getting all the Duke Energy customers in Gulf County restored by 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night. As of this morning at 9 a.m., we had 3,373 customers had been restored. That pushed us just over the 50% mark. So we've got, at this moment, 2,955 customers that still are without power. I got a call last night that we did get power restored to the City of Port St. Joe water treatment facility. So that was another step in the right direction of the important infrastructure here. And I've been communicating with our folks in our operations center to really concentrate the resources on this facility, City Hall, and bring all the city and county government facilities back. And the school, the high school, and the elementary school as well. But at this time, I feel like we're beginning a final push, and we remain confident that we're going to hit that goal of by tomorrow night, every customer that is safe to be restored is going to be restored.
Now, can you speak a little bit, and I okayed Danny to use the Beacon Hill Park. That doesn't include St. Joe Beach, and it doesn't include some of those areas. Y'all are going to stage in that area?
Yes, that does not include St. Joe Beach, and I'm actually going to get a report on where we are. I know work's going on out at Cape San Blas. I just don't know how far along they are and what the expectation is. I can tell you that, and this is a neighboring county in Bay County, I mean, that's going to be a rebuild approach, and there's already a team that's been put together. There's already a plan that's been put in place, resources and everything, to start that process for Mexico Beach. But I'm going to get some information on Cape San Blas. Again, the goal that we've got is by midnight tomorrow night, all customers in Gulf County and Port St. Joe that are safe to receive power, except for St. Joe Beach and Cape San Blas, should be restored. So again, as we sit here this morning, we're over 50% of the way there. So.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, Mike, I know you brought on Indian Pass, and that's still, we're good down that way, toward the Indian Pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be a basically a rebuild process going out that way, and right now just trying to get a little bit of clarity on what that's going to look like. I know a team's already in place.
Okay.
If you could stay after the meeting and talk to me about the critical thing right there on that road that was still off last night was the water plant. And they've had two different generators, and I think they've blown them both up, so we need to get water flowing there at the Lighthouse plant on C30. And I know y'all are close.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
Oh, St. Joe Natural Gas, and let me say, as they come up, I got a couple of disturbing calls yesterday that they had been. I have heard absolutely nothing but positive from water, sewer, power, and gas. I know Andy's house was destroyed. I saw Jason a few minutes after the hurricane force wind stopped. He offered gas employees to drive our stuff. So I think there was some confusion about inspections of homes where it would be safe for gas before or after they've been turned off, but there's never been anything negative said about anything with the gas company or any of these utilities in any of our meetings, any EOC meetings, so I want to make that very clear and let you give an update about the gas situation. Not just natural gas, but also propane, which they've been delivering house to house.
I appreciate that, thank you. As right now, where we're at, we have gas pressure back on the mains of all the city of Port St. Joe. We have restored the hospital. We have crews in town from all over the state helping us. So right now, we're kind of in all areas. We're working our way through the city of Port St. Joe. Anybody that's home and can take gas, once we've done a safety leak check, we're restoring gas to that house. Mexico Beach, we're kind of right now, we're in the same situation when I heard the power company. We're cutting and capping right now at the end of St. Joe Beach, and we're focusing on from St. Joe Beach back to here, and also Wee Wahitchka. Wee Wahitchka is, we expect to bring Wee Wahitchka back up in the next 24 to 48 hours. And then once, now when I say bring up, I mean pressure on the mains. Once we have surveyed and made sure there's no leaks on the mains, then we'll be going door to door there lighting up. So as far as any kind of a timeline, we're still just a few more days is all we can say. We're trying our best. We have crews in every area working. And everything is safe. Anytime we're putting lines. We are immediately doing timely pressure checks, everything, so that we should not have any releasing gas in any houses at all. Propane operation, we have 2 delivery trucks. They are spending their time between the Wee-Wee-Hitchcock, Honeyville Center, Howard Creek, and also in Franklin County. We're on the island, we're in the city of Apalachicola, so it does, I mean, is anything else on propane?
Hey, on the propane, Andy, I've had some requests, at the Cape. Any idea when we could realistically get a propane truck over there, for us?
How would it, we haven't been out there disturbing the road. How, as far as the big delivery truck, we're not sure if we can get it.
I think they've got it just about one lane close, but
When I was out there yesterday afternoon late, they had one lane, they had a power truck and they got stuck in it. So it's going to be difficult unless they can get a running start and stay going, and it's just one lane. So I'm going to guess a day or two.
One thing we've said is that we're going to take some fill bottles out there, and I think the county was going to try to get them down to the fire station. That, I know that is. Okay. All right. Jason and I talked before the meeting. Plan to maybe get a, what size was it?
2 120s.
2 120s down there. We'll work on getting them on trailers and getting them down there to the station today.
okay.
That's good. If we can stay on this side of the rocks, that'll keep, because it'd be horrible to get the gas truck stuck and then we're in
Right,
worse shape.
right.
So if we can stay on this side of the rocks and carry it back and forth, that's the best alternative.
And we do still have service, we never lost service to the prison in Wee-Wee-Hitchcock. I don't think there's any inmates there, but
There's none.
Okay. All right, is there any questions for Senator?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I feel compelled to say this. I received a very disturbing call yesterday, and from St. Joe Natural Gas. Someone being very negative made some remarks, and I'll assure you, Andy, nothing this board. I've asked 4 times for St. Joe Natural Gas to come to Wee-Wee-Hitchcock and bring propane, and they've been there, and while they were there, even if they saw a gas tank, they stopped and said, can we help you? Can we help you? I've had natural gas through this entire disaster we've had. But listen, don't let the negativity. We're positive here. The people in Wee-Wee-Hitchcock and North Death County, we praise you for the service that St. Joe Natural Gas has given us, and I want you to know that.
We appreciate that. We're doing everything we can.
But the negativity, we've nothing from here.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Update on the fish kill. Right now, FWC's out there taking a look at it. As soon as they report back to us, then we'll let you know. One other thing we're doing too is we're kind of tightening up security on this whole complex. And so what we're going to do is ask that only essential personnel go back behind the gates, or those people that have been approved by the essential personnel. So if you will, just help work with it, and y'all know who y'all are, essential personnel and stuff, are more than welcome to come in there. But we're having to relocate, like the guard's going to be pulling out of there. It's just gotten so congested that we're unable to do our work. So anyway, if you just work with us, we appreciate it.
Red Cross.
Red Cross.
Good morning, Heidi O'Shea, American Red Cross. So as with everyone else, we're getting more staff in, so I'm happy to report that we got in yesterday 17 management level Red Cross staff. They are set up at the Oak Grove Church. You are welcome to drop by there and look at our operation and talk to our people anytime, but you will definitely start to see a more robust and more organized Red Cross presence. There's been up to now myself and one other person trying to do the functions of those 17 the best. I wanted to start with Port St. Joe. Our noon count there yesterday was 115. Our midnight count was 41. It is a pet friendly. We have 5 pets there. We did hear this morning from the superintendent, the original date we heard he was looking to start school was November 5th. That had been bumped up. He gave out this morning that it's now October 29th. We're prepared to meet that and be out of there and relocate the shelter when they need us to. So Honeyville, I apologize yesterday morning. When I came in to brief you, I was told everything was green, and as soon as I left the room, I heard that they had run out of the fuel in the generator and didn't have power. That was resolved within hours, and now we have a daily top-off, so that will not happen again. Their noon count yesterday was 98. Their midnight count was 75. Pet count of 5, so we are seeing even the overnight population there is starting to decrease. Up until now, that's been a shelter that's been run by a local person, Don Menchu, with support from the Red Cross. Now that we're moving into a more long-term posture, we did start yesterday to transition that into a Red Cross managed shelter, and we will complete that transition today. But your local people did an amazing job at that shelter with some very unideal conditions. So it's not that they haven't been working hard and doing well. It's just that we're moving into the long-term posture. I keep hearing the issues with law enforcement and guard bubbling up, so I just want to tell you that at our shelters, it's a delicate balancing act. Of course, we absolutely want them to be safe. We want our staff to be safe. We want the clients to be safe. Law enforcement and National Guard are welcome at the shelters, but we also we want it to be a welcoming place for your residents. And I think you can see that if they walk up to the door and there's 2 law enforcement officers and 4 soldiers with rifles, that it might not give a welcoming feel. But we worked that out several days ago about what the posture would be so that everyone's needs are met. So I'm not sure why that's still bubbling up as an issue. I'm not sure if it's bubbling up to your level as an issue, but I keep hearing it. They are welcome. If they want to walk through the shelters, that's fine as well. We definitely welcome security. We want it to be safe. But we also don't want residents to feel intimidated about coming there to receive care. So that's the balancing act there. We're working going forward on getting a lot more mobile distribution out into the community, especially the areas that are in Grady community, so keep communicating those to us. And Sheriff, I believe in the next day or two, we'll finally see some of those cleaning kits that you and I have been asking for since day one. It's still on our radar, and those next couple of days. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hines.
Second part.
Good morning.
I wanted to go ahead and give you a pharmacy update. By-Right, PSJ, and WeLaw are still Monday to Friday, 10 to 2 at their respective time zones. If anyone has access to a generator that might run either building, I would love to get you in contact with the regional manager. By-Right Appalach has power and is fully functional, so for our By-Right customers that can get to that location or send a person, they would be able to get refills there. The 2 locations at PSJ and WeLaw are still emergency refill only because they have no power. CVS Port St. Joe today will be open from 9 to 7 today and changing hours 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. starting tomorrow. They are still able to give emergency medication supply. They're trying to do it for any customer, not just CVS. But as far as new prescriptions, they are able to fill any new prescription. They can accept cash and card now. We also have CVS representatives here in the room today. They are actively working on getting emergency access to the insurances not normally covered at CVS. They're trying to work with insurance companies to make sure that they can actually cover those patients as well. As far as our clinic and other medical access outpatient right now, Sacred Heart WeLaw, Dr. Wells and Amy Miller are normal providers at that location. We'll be there from 9 until 3 Central Standard Time, treating Sacred Heart patients only. That's a change from yesterday. And then at my location, Sacred Heart Port St. Joe, I will be there from 12 until 4. It's a free walk-in clinic to anybody that can get to us. Dialysis, we have an update on that. Dialysis DaVita at the medical office building in Sacred Heart Port St. Joe. They opened at 6 a.m. today for dialysis patients. I don't have a close hour, but they are open and functional today.
Okay. I'm Mary Jo Montgomery, the administrator at the Gulf. Where operations are going well, we're staffed ED, there's been some questions if the ED is up and running, we are up and running, we had a good number of patients yesterday, it trended off toward the end of the day, but that's functioning well. We got staff support from area hospitals that have come in, we are open and we'll be considering bringing in other staff from Bayer in the future, the people that want to work that are displaced, so that's on our radar. We're working through finding out where all our staff are, what their living arrangements are. Our goal is to get back up operational. We're dependent upon telecom and water to do that. So here in the water, if we can get water Friday, we probably could be open fully by Monday, Sunday or Monday, but that would be my goal. We're identifying staff. The electricity and stuff will help because we only have limited housing right now. Our staff are in our beds, so we've got to get them back to their home or somewhere else to be able to open up for patients. Our goal is going to be to open up, exceed expectations for what we've even cared for in the past due to the situations in Bay County. So we'll ramp up. We'll see what that looks like. We had our Ascension Florida CEO and CFO and all administrative team come through, look at the community, look at the hospital and the facilities where we are, went out and fed folks. We had about 1,500 fed at the elementary school yesterday. We have 3,000 box lunches coming in. We're going to take some there, but we're going to distribute others into other areas of the community. National Guard's going to take those out. So we're going to make sure we get more fed in more locations today. Let's see if there's anything else. So anyway, we really need, we've got some opportunities today for people coming in to help us with the communications. Right now, everything's on paper. We don't have records and things like that. But hopefully, we've got some trucks coming in today, so we'll have a better idea how that is. But we've got plenty of staff, and we're open, and we're trying to take care of this new patient. Any questions?
Could I get with you after the meeting and give you a couple of locations where we could take some food?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, one question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Bixler. But we have the two power representatives here. We were talking earlier about generators at the By-Right here in St. Joe and Weewillitch and CVS. But I don't know if these power representatives will have you power. Now, when we set these big when these generators, someone's got to know how to properly hook them up. Just setting it off around the building won't get it, especially on businesses. But I don't know, anyway, you need generators.
CVS has a generator.
So CVS is okay.
CVS is okay, but we're just
By-Right
in both locations.
Weewillitch and Port St. Joe needs generated power, Mr. Hammer.
Thank you.
We've actually put mission requests in for those generators several days ago for guys. We're having trouble getting any response again. And whenever we put those requests in, we ask for self-sustaining generators.
Can you come up to the podium? Come on up to the podium, yeah.
Anyway, Dr. Bixler, we're working on that. Thank you.
Michael, you want to reach out to Kenny Strange, since he secured them for both cities, to try to help them do that?
So we put those mission requests in for generators for our pharmacies several days ago. We're having problems getting a response with that, as well as the ones we're still working on for the city. Whenever we put those mission requests in, we ask for self-supporting generators, along with them to be refueled on a daily basis as well. So as soon as I can get any updates on those, I will keep you posted.
Michael, I know Mr. Ashbrook said he had one that they were no longer using at Mainstay. That was a good-sized generator. If that was,
it may actually be too big, but we'll get something to get them up running. I promise you.
Come on up. Come on up before we can get you on.
Mr. Chairman, I just got a text that we do have power back at City Hall. Mr. Mangum may could help us out with this, but if it's at City Hall, By-Right is directly across the street.
we should have it.
It may be easier to get power to it than begin to.
Yeah.
So we'll just focus on the one in Weewillitch then.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Reference to By-Right, I'll check that today and make sure that when we get a full generator into power back through distribution, that y'all are ready to go online. So I'll make sure we do that today. Hopefully a little earlier than Saturday, but we're pushing Saturday as fast as we can.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. I'm gonna call on the sheriff, but if Les can be thinking about, we talked about this morning, we need an update. We have to have an update from Consolidated and MediaCom, and everything the county's got basically is on MediaCom phones. So be thinking about that while the sheriff's doing his report, if you have any information. Thank you.
Thanks real quickly. Had a busy night last night. Our officers were out actively enforcing some of the curfews and some of the other issues. Combination with the Fort St. Joe City Police Department, 9 went to jail last night for curfew violations as well as some other issues. So we're getting the message out there that we're not putting up with it. The curfew still remains in effect and will be enforced strictly. We lessened it up a little bit to give people some travel time. I think that was a good thing. So good people that are trying to get back and forth and put in a hard day's work have that opportunity to travel back and forth. So our communications, the sheriff's office and the other agencies are improving. All of them are working on state law enforcement radio network, and it's working for right now. We're still working on establishing our communications with the sheriff's office, our traditional link between here and there. There's still a Verizon issue with our cradle points between tower and tower. So, but other than that, everything's still good. Other things still remain in effect, and we're moving forward on the issue at the American Red Cross at the Honeyville shelter. That was being manned by Weewishka Search and Rescue. Did a good job of that. We did have an issue. That was the show of force that we had there. That issue's gone after that show of force, so that was successful, and I think things are going a lot better. Okay. Chief.
Real quick, just to piggyback off what the sheriff said, these 9 arrests would not have happened if people would obey the curfew and been at home. So we need to get the word out. Stay at home after the curfew.
Les.
Morning, Mr. Chair. Commissioners, I'll be really quick on MediaCom. I've got a call into the state. We want a representative in here to tell us an update. My backup plans, if you don't hear from them pretty quick, I'll ask Jack to bump the governor and see if we can get a response there. In your IEP on page 22 is our daily media update. Just know where that is. Again, that's great information for you when you're out in the community. Gives you great speaking points. The only thing to be aware of, we have to produce this IEP overnight. So some of the information may be a little bit behind, but for the most part, it's up to date. Our big concern going into recovery is unlicensed contractors. There's a paragraph about that, making sure the public's aware that people will take advantage of them under these situations. Be watching for that. There's some very important phone numbers on here, including the information line for people to call into the EOC and ask questions. Facebook's up and running. Twitter's up and running. We're doing a great job pushing out information. There's good information in here for any of our armed forces people who have been displaced. There's phone numbers for them to call for assistance at their armed forces. Donations. We got a volunteer coordinator in from the state, from out of state. He's outstanding. Nick, I saw Nick today. He may have left already. They're up and running with these donation centers, and we have the Florida Forest Service inbound are already here too, managing donations, and they're coming in by the Grove. We're going to get that squared away and make it a better organized operation. I've been here in the Washington gym over and over again. There's concerns there. We're going to give them some love today and try to push some stuff to them and maybe add them as one of these on the distribution list. A big important paragraph toward the end is safety tips, people going back in their homes. There's some great information on them about making sure when they re-enter their homes, they'll be safe. And with that, I need to run and be on a conference call on this fish kill. So thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Could the city get a copy of that to our city manager?
Yes, sir. Anytime, go to the DOC and either get the IEP or if nothing else, just get that daily press release.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
And as we transition away from these meetings where y'all can be busy in your districts, Kelly's going to become even more important pushing out these press releases. One of the things that I heard this morning was about Samaritan's Purse. They're set up in Weevil, I think, at the Baptist Church. They're taking work orders. They're cutting trees off of people's houses that are indigent. They are putting tarps on people's houses. It's the Franklin Graham Ministry. And so as we get this word out, we'll spread it out to the public, whether we need to do flyers, email, Facebook, all those type things. So, Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, please, while he's on that, yes, they are. We're doing great in the north end of the county. As I said in a meeting a few days ago, yesterday a gentleman asked me, he says, is $30,000 unreasonable for clearing the trees around my home? I said, do not. Deseret Cattle and Timber, new neighbors to come to Guff County, not Weaver Hitchcock, but to Guff County. They're going out, working homes free of charge, and those people are really to be commended. I also told them that we're working on plans that we can come on to private property, to help cleaning, as we were talking yesterday with the governor, to reestablish when we get some power, which won't be long, listening to John over here, that we can get some medium and life security inmates back in here to start when we get to that point to rebuild this. But people don't get gouged. Please don't get gouged. Just don't do it. But that's a shame. $30,000 will help a man that's in terrible health. Makes you want to do terrible things to them, but anyway, don't get to it, please.
Mr. Rogers, you got anything?
It's just amazing, all the volunteers that come in. I went home yesterday after work. I went to get me some gas. There was gas flowing in White City. Truck pulled up handing out hot meals. I mean, if you want it, it's out there. Sometimes, you know, that's what we need to get to the public is, you know, information on where this stuff is. It is there. It is there. I've had people say, oh, well, when y'all going to do something? And when I get home, I'm looking, and there it is. It's everywhere you look. So, you know, that's the main thing. People just need to know it's there. They need to get out and get it. Thank you.
There's food on 71 from, as you come into Weaver Hitchcock and you go out the other end, if you say you couldn't find food, you wasn't in Weaver. It's there. Every corner is set up. Mr. Gaskin with Gaskin and Grady, let me pass this on and we'll be quiet. He had Allstate for his customers. Allstate was in Weaver Hitchcock Monday writing $3,000 to $5,000 checks to their customers, not settlement checks, but just support checks to help them. But as his home is up there this afternoon, he says he's set up to feed 400 or 500 people across from Dr. Barnes. Everybody knows where Dr. Barnes is, right over there. So food is no issue. Biggest thing this morning, I found out we need bagged ice, and we were Hitchcock because you can drink it. Bagged ice. I'm through.
Mr. Rich?
I've got a couple of things. I was able to get to Howard's Creek after the meeting yesterday. I've been down there 3 times, and it looks like it fared well. The request that I did have is for ice, and Eugene, Mr. Rathfield and Rathfield's Fishers came up, and they're given away by the vat. I don't know what to say. If we can find a way to get some ice down there to the fire department. They had a great presence of a few residents, but a substantial amount of law enforcement down there. And I looked around and I said, you know, it's not that bad. They had generator power, they had running water, they had a bathroom, they had air conditioning, food. You know, just I can't believe we've come this far in a short amount of time. In those communities, I spoke to the fire chief there at Dalkeith. He came to see me yesterday, and I said everything was good down there, and everybody's happy, everybody's smiling, and it's been as bad as it's been to start with. It's just been a real uplifting, positive experience. Community coming together. I can't thank everybody enough for everything they've done in the city and over in my district and Mr. McDaniel's district there. But if we can get some ice to Howard's Creek outlying areas, and everybody check on your neighbor, and widow women, shut-ins, just try to remember everybody that might be in need and lend a helping hand.
Thanks, sir. Mr. McCall?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Was down in Indian Pass late yesterday evening, and just want to thank the South Guff Fire Department. They've done a heck of a job running the distribution and all that in, and just can't say enough about them. And just want to say too that, you know, our fire chiefs need to go home and get some rest. We've got some capable people in here to run that as far as the firefighting and all, and they need to disengage and get some rest on, you know, with that. As far as the ice goes, do we have any ice as far as bagged ice that's potable that we could, does anybody know?
I think we've got some, we just got to get it out. We got some at the south end. Yeah.
Where's the location? Any?
Yes, we actually have a truckload of ice coming in from Walmart today, and we already hooked up with
Come to the podium, please. Sorry about that, Ms. Nard.
They've been giving it out at the elementary school before, but
Right, this is a whole separate blue device that we have coming in, and we already hooked up with Mr.
Rathfield.
Rathfield, yes, sorry, and he's going to store that for us.
So it'd be the Rathfields? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
But we'll make sure that we can get that distributed to you.
Great, great, okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
we know what time.
No, but as soon as I know, I will get with the 3 people that asked for ice first, and we'll,
Mr. Hammond, can you check with Howards Creek and Dalkeith Fire Departments to see what kind of capacity they would need to meet the needs of the people there for me, please?
Mr. McCrone?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
All right, thanks, sir. I just want to echo, you got something, Mr. Mayor?
No, sir. Mr. McKnight back here has some very good information for us.
Let's wait till tomorrow, let the warrant.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I want to firm up all the details.
All right.
Somebody.
Lynn, you got something?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just spoke to the National Guard over at the EOC, and they are needing to see if we can get the area, I believe the Port Authority owns where we staged VP down there. They're going to have 400 National Guardsmen come in. We need to set up a tent city, and we need to move our staging area from here, and wanted to see there's going to need to be some signatures. So
Yes.
I wanted to see if we could get approval to try to do that.
We've already spoken with George Gonzalez from St. Joe Company and the oil mill site. There's areas on that oil mill site that they can use, and so we might have to work with Mark to do some cutting of that type of thing and lay it out and know how much they need, but we can
The
certainly.
reason they were thinking of that was a place to go in and out real quick for the staging area. That's the biggest thing, and the tent can go pretty much anywhere, but
Yeah, we can use that Highland View Inn. I think it'll work out fine.
so thank
So
you.
it's already been approved.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Morning, fellas. We're here, I'm with CVS.
Tell us, give us your
My
name.
name's Tim Ridings. I'm with CVS Pharmacy.
Thanks, sir.
Live in Casita, Alabama, manage a store in LaGrange, Georgia. Most of the employees at CVS, their homes, of course, are destroyed. We've got people from Georgia, Alabama, Florida. We're staying in my camper in the parking lot to keep the CVS up and running.
We appreciate it.
We opened up Sunday morning. We're full up and running. We take cash, credit cards, debit cards, EBT cards, checks, whole 9 yards. One of the things that needs to be mentioned, the MoneyGram service. A lot of people may not be familiar with MoneyGram service. If there's a person here and your mom or dad lives in California and wants to send you money, you can go into any CVS across the country. You can initiate a MoneyGram service there. They can send the money to the CVS here. A person can walk in and have the money sent to them. They can receive up to $500 cash. Don't do more than $500 cash, because after $500, we're limited and it has to print out the remainder in a money order, which is going to be no good. But if a person needs to receive, if a family member wants to send somebody here money to help, they can do up to $500. Just have to go into any CVS and get that taken care of. I would like to speak with the person at the energy company. We are running on our own generators. Just would like to stay doing that until you guys get Power Grid completely, and then we can shut that off and go. We're trying to stay open as long as we can to keep everybody. What time is the curfew? We hear curfew and we're staying open up until curfew and past a little bit. We don't want
9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern Time.
So 9 p.m. All right. Whatever we can do as far as, staff is coming through all different parts of the southeast to keep this store up and running so we can help the community and stuff. We have a delivery of Coca-Cola. We've had a lot of the community said we're tired of water. I'm sorry, Pepsi drinkers, but all the Coke and Pepsi has been destroyed around here, so we've rerouted some things from Dothan, from Tallahassee. Monster energy drinks, the linemen, we have restrooms, running water, air conditioning. I mean, just, y'all send people to us, we'll help out whatever way we can.
All right, thank you, sir. Oh, man. Health Department.
Here they come.
No, I'm not.
And I apologize, I thought y'all were coming together with Sacred Heart, I apologize.
It's okay, I could have. So Jesse Pippin, Health Department. My only update for you guys is that the medical response that's set up at the Health Department in Weewa Hitchcock is now 24 hours.
Good.
So it is going to be 24 hours, and That's really our only update as of right now. Tetanus shots are still provided at both locations for everybody who needs those. And also there is an EH strike team, so you might see some additional DOH environmental health folks walking around. They're doing inspections in both Gulf and in Franklin.
Okay.
Any questions for me? All right.
Thank you.
If that's everything, Mr. Chairman, you got...
I just want one thing, couple things, two things. Just want to make sure that we all, when you get a chance to, like Commissioner McCrone said, we all do need to disengage for a few. We don't need to become a casualty ourselves, you know what I'm saying, because we need to be fresh minds for the people. So that whenever you get a chance to get you some rest, lay down, turn your cell phone off for a little while, and get you some rest, because I know we all have been going hard at it, trying to do everything we can to make sure we're doing everything right for everybody. So, but we do need to get some rest, or we will become a casualty ourselves. Also, Mr. Nelson didn't get a chance to mention it, but he has organized a food truck, and it's coming in. It might be here tonight. But we're trying to get a strategic location, and we're thinking that we're going to set it up between the CVS and the David Langston, the railroad old place. We're going to try to put it on the railroad side, in the middle of David Langston's road, where people can come in and out. They're going to serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the people, so we need to try to get that word out to people that might need a hot meal. They can swing by there, and we're hoping it should be up and running, hopefully tomorrow. We're gonna hope that it's gonna be up tomorrow. So if you could spread that word, hot meal, breakfast, lunch, and then 7 days. They're gonna be here for 7 days. So it's food everywhere in this community. If you know somebody in need, just steer them to the right direction. That's all I got. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, just one more thing. Does the clerk need us to do anything else in preparation for next week? I'm going to ask the chairman just to recess. We're not going to call a scheduled 9 o'clock meeting tomorrow. We can reconvene if the chairman so needs to. Is there anything we need for our next meeting? We suspended the agenda, but we're planning on having our regular meeting. We're planning on opening the courthouse at 9 o'clock on Monday morning. We've got a lot of work to do between now and then to make that happen. But is there anything else you need on your side from the board?
I can't think of anything. I've got my team. I did have one question that was presented to me after I told my team that we'd be going back on Monday, and it was concerns about whether the county staff will be going back on Monday as well. And I thought that was my understanding, but just to clarify that your employees will be going back as well on Monday. Is that correct? All county and constitutional officers.
And there haven't been many that hadn't been.
Hadn't already been here, but
the only thing that I would ask you to continue to keep Chief Judge Smiley in the loop on. It's going to be virtually impossible for us to run around the state and get prisoners for court. So I would like to put that off at least another week after next week, and we'll just go by that. But as far as for people have to buy tags and pay taxes and do all those kind of things that they need to do. So we're going to try to get as many folks back to work at the courthouse complex, all county employees, all constitutional officer employees, back to work on Monday.
I will do my best to get up with him. I've only had communication by email, and that's been sketchy, so I will do my best to get up with him again and relay that message.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Novak.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, just for the public, it's highly irregular, it's unusual times. I know we don't have an agenda, but it is very important that we take every opportunity just to let you all know that on the agenda next week, I'm just stating it for the record today in these minutes, that we will make open RFQs for public assistance consultants, and staff will make recommendations to you. The cities have both come up under you, so when they make that recommendation next week at that meeting, ideally you'll be making a vote on that, which is vitally important. So it's stated today, it's in the minutes for the public to consume it, and we're going to go through that process over the next couple of days, but that will be on the agenda, and I want to put that on the record.
All right, thanks, sir. All right,
Mike.
All right, come on up, Mr. Mike.
I just want to take the opportunity to share a little updated information.
Yes, sir.
I just took a call that the county government complex has been restored, City Hall has been restored, both schools have been restored, and a little correction, Indian Pass sub,
There's work that's going to be done in that substation, but it's being backfed from the Port St. Joe sub. And so Cape Sandblast is actually on our 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night goal to have that restored. So the only area that we know won't be restored by 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night is the St. Joe Beach area.
So we should have power at the Lighthouse water plant there on.
By tomorrow night, that's what.
No, we should have it today. Am I correct on? I know it came on for a little, down toward Indian Pat J's plant, down toward, I'll double check on that. Yeah, we got to meet. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, that's all. Meeting stands in recess.